In Stoic philosophy, helping others is a virtue, but it's not about helping everyone who asks. True wisdom lies in knowing when to help and when to step back. Helping should empower others to grow, not create dependency. When we help wisely, we preserve our energy, protect our peace, and foster real progress. It's about using discernment to ensure that our efforts bring value, not drain us. So, be selective, and let your help be a tool for growth, not just a quick fix. In this article, we'll explore the Stoic wisdom on when not to help others. We'll look at why it's important to avoid helping those who consistently take without giving back, refuse to help themselves, or seek validation rather than genuine improvement. We'll also examine why it's unwise to assist people who only complain without action or spread negativity. By the end, you'll understand how to set healthy boundaries, help wisely, and preserve your own peace in the process. Building on the idea of helping with wisdom, let's dive deeper into the second type of person we should avoid helping: those who consistently take without ever giving back. While it's natural to want to help others, Stoicism teaches us that support should be a two-way street. Helping those who always take can drain our energy, disrupt our own growth, and ultimately enable unhealthy patterns. We've all encountered people who seem to take more than they give, whether it's in personal relationships, work environments, or even casual interactions. They take your time, resources, or emotional energy, yet don't offer anything in return. This imbalance creates a cycle of depletion, leaving you exhausted and potentially resentful. Stoics believed in reciprocity, not just in terms of material exchange, but also emotional and intellectual give and take. It's important to engage in relationships where both parties contribute meaningfully. Why should we refrain from helping these individuals? The answer lies in the Stoic principle of self-control and maintaining inner peace. By constantly giving to those who take without returning, we allow ourselves to be manipulated by external circumstances. Instead of fostering meaningful connections, we may find ourselves trapped in a toxic dynamic where one person continuously benefits, while the other gives more than they should, often at the expense of their own well-being. Moreover, the Stoics advocated for helping people who are striving to better themselves, not those who are content with taking advantage of others. Helping those who consistently take without giving back encourages a mindset of dependency. Instead of empowering them to solve their own problems or learn valuable lessons, we might unintentionally reinforce their belief that they can always rely on others. The Stoic goal is to foster self-sufficiency and resilience, both for ourselves and the people we interact with. When we allow others to take without contributing, we rob them of the opportunity to grow, face challenges, and learn from their experiences. This is not to say we should never help anyone in need. Of course, there are times when a genuine, one-sided act of kindness is needed. But when it becomes a regular pattern, it's important to step back and ask ourselves if we're truly helping the person or simply enabling them. Are we teaching them to be self-reliant, or are we fostering an unhealthy dependency that will only hold them back in the long run? To be wise in our actions, we need to use discernment and recognize when our help is no longer beneficial. It's crucial to help in ways that encourage growth, learning, and self-sufficiency. We should support others who are actively working toward their own improvement, those who are not only willing to give but also eager to learn and contribute. In this way, we maintain the integrity of our relationships, preserve our energy, and align with the Stoic ideals of wisdom and self-mastery. In conclusion, by helping people who give as much as they take, we ensure that our actions are aligned with growth, balance, and resilience. Avoiding the constant drain of those who take without ever giving back allows us to focus on the relationships that truly matter, those that contribute to mutual growth and create positive, lasting impacts on both parties. Continuing from our previous point about helping those who constantly take without giving back, let's now explore a crucial aspect of helping others: people who refuse to help themselves. In Stoicism, one of the core principles is the idea of self-reliance and personal responsibility. While it's tempting to jump in and offer help, Stoic wisdom teaches us that true help comes when individuals are willing to help themselves first. Imagine pouring your time, energy, and resources into someone who consistently refuses to take responsibility for their own growth or actions. You may offer advice, support, or even financial help, but if the person never makes an effort to improve or change their situation, you're merely enabling their inaction. Stoics understood that helping those who refuse to take responsibility does not lead to personal growth. It only perpetuates dependency and stagnation. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea that we can only control our own actions and attitudes, not those of others. By focusing on our own virtues and behaviors, we maintain inner peace and clarity. When we help those who are unwilling to help themselves, we fall into the trap of trying to control external factors, an exhausting, often fruitless endeavor. True help, according to the Stoics, is helping others help themselves. This doesn't mean abandoning people in their time of need, but encouraging them to take responsibility for their own actions and learning from their experiences. It's essential to recognize that when someone is not willing to put in the effort or make the changes necessary for their own growth, any help you provide will likely be in vain. Instead of offering endless support, which may lead to frustration and resentment, Stoicism teaches us to create space for others to learn through their own actions. This aligns with the idea of focusing on what we can control, our own responses, and our ability to set healthy boundaries. For example, think about a person who consistently makes poor decisions and refuses to change, despite repeated guidance. At first, it's easy to think that offering more advice or support will help them, but over time, this can become draining. The Stoic approach is to stop enabling this behavior and instead let the individual face the consequences of their actions. By doing this, we give them the space to grow, learn, and ultimately take ownership of their own path. Furthermore, when we help those who are unwilling to help themselves, we risk diminishing their sense of agency and power. By constantly intervening, we deprive them of the opportunity to face their challenges and find their own solutions. Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius emphasized that adversity and struggle are essential for growth. If we shield someone from these challenges, we're preventing them from becoming stronger and more resilient in the long run. In conclusion, helping those who refuse to help themselves ultimately harms both them and us. By stepping back and allowing them to take responsibility for their actions, we enable them to build the resilience and self-discipline needed to grow. While it's tempting to offer endless support, the Stoic path encourages us to help in ways that empower others to take charge of their own lives, rather than becoming reliant on others for solutions. In doing so, we preserve our own energy, foster personal growth, and align with the Stoic values of wisdom, self-reliance, and virtue. Building on the idea of helping those who are unwilling to help themselves, let's now examine another type of person we should avoid helping: individuals who seek validation over genuine improvement. In the world of self-growth and Stoic philosophy, there's a clear distinction between those who genuinely seek progress and those who simply crave praise. It's tempting to assist someone who constantly seeks attention, but helping someone who's more interested in validation than true change can actually hinder their growth, and yours. Have you ever encountered someone who is always asking for feedback, compliments, or reassurance, but when it comes to taking real steps toward improvement, they remain stagnant? These individuals thrive on external validation, but lack the inner motivation to make lasting changes in their lives. Stoics believe that true growth comes from within, and that our sense of worth should not be dependent on external praise or approval. Instead, it should come from our own actions, virtues, and self-awareness. When you're constantly helping someone who's only seeking validation, you're feeding their external dependence, rather than encouraging them to develop inner strength and self-confidence. Why is this a problem? First, it reinforces a cycle of dependency. People who seek validation over self-improvement are often stuck in a loop of needing external approval to feel good about themselves. This leaves little room for self-reflection, growth, or genuine progress. Instead of pushing themselves to do better, they turn to others for reassurance and affirmation. As a result, they miss the valuable lesson that Stoicism teaches: that we cannot control how others perceive us, but we can control our own actions and attitudes. For example, imagine someone who consistently asks for validation for their work, their decisions, or their efforts. They may seem like they want feedback, but in reality, they're more interested in hearing how great they are than learning how they can improve. If we continually provide that external validation, we only reinforce their need for approval, rather than empowering them to find satisfaction in their own achievements. This is where Stoic wisdom comes into play. By helping those who seek real growth and constructive feedback, we encourage them to look inward and become self-reliant. The Stoics understood that true confidence and fulfillment come from the knowledge that we are living in alignment with our values, not from others' opinions. Helping someone who constantly seeks validation can prevent them from discovering this truth. Instead of offering endless praise, it's more beneficial to encourage them to self-assess and reflect on their actions. Constructive feedback that focuses on their growth, rather than their need for praise, is a much more valuable form of assistance. Moreover, helping those who seek validation can be draining. Constantly providing external affirmation takes away from your own energy and resources, leaving you feeling emotionally taxed. It also limits your ability to focus on your own growth and development, as you're caught in the cycle of reinforcing someone else's dependency. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is in our control, our own actions, mindset, and emotional state, and to resist being drawn into the validation-seeking behaviors of others. In conclusion, helping people who seek validation rather than genuine improvement doesn't foster true growth. It reinforces external dependence and prevents them from developing the inner strength needed for lasting success. Stoic wisdom encourages us to guide others toward self-reliance, helping them build the confidence to trust their own abilities, rather than relying on the approval of others. By focusing our help on those who are genuinely committed to growth, we not only empower them but also protect our own energy and align with our values. Continuing from the previous point about helping those who seek validation rather than genuine improvement, let's explore another important category of people we should be cautious about helping: individuals who spread negativity without taking action. We've all encountered people who are quick to complain, criticize, and point out problems, but who never take responsibility for finding solutions. While it's natural to want to help others who are struggling, Stoic wisdom teaches us that helping those who are stuck in a mindset of negativity can drain our energy and derail our progress. Have you ever had a conversation with someone who constantly complains but never does anything to change their situation? They seem to find fault with everything, whether it's work, relationships, or life in general, but they never take the steps necessary to improve their circumstances. This type of person can be incredibly draining, especially when they constantly seek your attention and sympathy without showing any willingness to take action. Stoicism teaches us that we must focus on what is within our control and approach challenges with a clear, positive mindset. Helping someone who is perpetually negative, without any desire to act or change, only reinforces their sense of helplessness and disempowerment. The problem with helping people who spread negativity is that it encourages a victim mentality. Stoics believed in taking personal responsibility for our circumstances, no matter how difficult they may be. Life will always present obstacles, but it's how we respond to them that defines us. Constantly helping someone who complains but refuses to act is essentially feeding into their belief that the world is against them, rather than empowering them to take charge of their own life. This can lead to a cycle where they become increasingly reliant on others to fix their problems, rather than learning how to solve them on their own. Moreover, negativity is contagious. When we surround ourselves with people who are constantly focused on the negative, it can begin to affect our own mindset and outlook on life. Stoics emphasized the importance of guarding our minds against harmful influences. By constantly helping someone who spreads negativity, we risk internalizing their pessimism, which can hinder our own growth and peace of mind. Instead of offering your energy to someone who brings nothing but complaints, Stoicism encourages us to focus on individuals who bring constructive energy and a willingness to work toward positive change. The key here is discernment. Stoics didn't advocate for abandoning those who are struggling, but they did emphasize the importance of offering help that encourages action, resilience, and personal responsibility. If someone is continually complaining without any intent to change, it's okay to set boundaries and recognize that your help may not be effective or appreciated. Instead of offering sympathy, offer guidance that encourages the person to take responsibility for their situation. Encourage them to focus on solutions rather than problems, and empower them to take the necessary steps to improve their lives. In conclusion, helping those who spread negativity without taking action does not foster growth, nor does it align with Stoic principles. By focusing on what is within our control, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we can preserve our peace and energy. Helping those who are stuck in negativity only drains us, reinforces their helplessness, and prevents them from realizing their own potential. Stoicism teaches us to offer support that empowers others to take responsibility for their lives and approach challenges with resilience, rather than continuing the cycle of complaint and inaction. Building on the previous point about helping those who spread negativity without taking action, let's now address another type of person we should be cautious about helping: individuals who only take without ever giving. This is a dangerous mindset, and Stoicism teaches us that relationships should be built on mutual respect, contribution, and balance. While it's natural to want to help others, there comes a time when you must recognize that you're being drained by someone who never offers anything in return, whether it's in terms of effort, support, or kindness. Have you ever encountered someone who constantly takes from you, your time, your resources, your emotional energy, but never seems to give anything back? Whether it's a friend, colleague, or family member, this one-sided dynamic can be toxic, leaving you feeling exhausted and unappreciated. Stoic wisdom reminds us that, while helping others is a virtue, it's equally important to establish boundaries and maintain balance in our relationships. Helping someone who only takes and never contributes is not true assistance. It's enabling a pattern of dependence that does little to help them grow or improve. The problem with giving to people who never reciprocate is that it can breed resentment over time. Stoics believed in the importance of justice, which includes fairness and reciprocity in our interactions with others. When you continuously give to someone who takes without giving anything back, you're out of balance. While Stoicism encourages us to act with virtue and kindness, it doesn't mean we should allow ourselves to be exploited. Every person has the responsibility to contribute to the relationships they are part of, whether emotionally, practically, or through mutual respect. Moreover, constantly giving without receiving can rob you of the energy and resources needed to focus on your own growth and self-improvement. Stoics taught that we must prioritize our own well-being and actions before giving to others. If you're constantly giving to someone who takes without reciprocating, you'll find yourself emotionally drained, unable to invest in your own needs or aspirations. You may also start to question your own worth, especially if you feel taken for granted. This creates a harmful dynamic where you become the giver and they remain the taker, leaving you with nothing in return. It's important to remember that true help is empowering others to stand on their own. Helping someone who only takes prevents them from developing the independence and self-reliance they need to thrive. Instead of giving endlessly to someone who is always in need, the Stoic approach would encourage you to help them build their own capabilities. Guide them, support them in their growth, but don't carry the entire burden for them. The goal is to empower people to give as much as they receive, contributing positively to the relationship and to their own development. In conclusion, helping those who only take and never give disrupts the natural balance that is essential for healthy relationships. Stoicism teaches us to act with justice, self-respect, and wisdom, recognizing when to give and when to set boundaries. Helping others is a virtue, but when that help turns into a one-sided transaction, it no longer serves anyone's best interests. By recognizing when you're being drained by a taker, you protect your own energy and maintain healthier, more balanced relationships. Focus on helping others in a way that encourages mutual growth and contribution, ensuring that your assistance leads to positive change rather than perpetuating dependence. Continuing from the idea of helping people who only take without giving back, let's now explore another crucial type of individual we should be careful about helping: those who resist change and prefer to stay in their comfort zone. As we've discussed, helping should encourage growth, but when someone is unwilling to change or step out of their familiar, stagnant environment, your efforts to assist them may not only be futile, it may also hold them back from experiencing the growth they need. Have you ever tried to help someone who repeatedly asks for advice or guidance, but when it's time to take action, they always find an excuse or retreat back into their comfort zone? These individuals want the benefits of change but are too afraid or unwilling to do the hard work necessary to achieve it. They may tell you they want to improve, but deep down, they fear the unknown and the discomfort that comes with personal growth. This type of person may keep you in a loop of endless advice without ever taking a single step forward. This is where Stoic philosophy offers valuable insight. Change is uncomfortable, but it is also essential for growth, and we cannot continue to help someone who is content to remain stuck in their current state. The problem with helping people who resist change is that it often feels like you're beating your head against a wall. You offer support, give advice, and maybe even provide resources, but they never follow through. Stoics emphasize the importance of action, knowing that our actions, not our words, define us. While you may have the best intentions in helping someone break free from their limitations, if they're not willing to take responsibility for their own transformation, your assistance will have little impact. Instead of enabling their resistance to change, the best thing you can do is to stop reinforcing their inaction and encourage them to make the hard choices that lead to real growth. Why is this so important? In the Stoic worldview, the only way to truly live a fulfilled life is to continuously evolve. The pursuit of virtue and wisdom requires us to step outside of our comfort zones, face challenges, and embrace discomfort as part of the growth process. When we help someone who resists change, we might actually be contributing to their stagnation, making it easier for them to avoid discomfort and stay in a place of complacency. The key is not to force them to change, but rather to guide them toward the realization that change is essential for progress, and that they have the power to initiate it themselves. Additionally, by continuing to help someone who resists change, you might begin to lose faith in your own ability to make a difference. It can be emotionally draining when you see no results despite your constant support. Stoicism teaches us that we should not become attached to outcomes beyond our control. While you can offer guidance and encouragement, it's ultimately up to the individual to decide whether they will take the necessary steps to improve. By recognizing when someone is stuck in their comfort zone and choosing not to help them move forward, you are setting a boundary that protects your time and energy. In conclusion, helping people who resist change is not only ineffective but can also prevent them from discovering their true potential. Stoic wisdom teaches us that growth requires action, discomfort, and self-discipline. By offering support to those who are ready to embrace change, we empower them to step out of their comfort zone and take control of their own transformation. Recognizing when someone is unwilling to change and stepping back from offering help doesn't mean you don't care. It means you are respecting both their autonomy and your own energy. True help is about empowering others to take responsibility for their own growth, rather than carrying them through the motions without real progress. If this video resonated with you, don't just watch and move on. Hit that like button to show your support and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experiences, your opinions on these habits, or maybe even a moment where you've recognized one of these types in your own life. Your insights can spark meaningful conversations and inspire others, so don't hold back. And hey, if you found this video valuable, you're in for even more life-changing wisdom. Check out our other videos packed with deep insights, powerful Stoic principles, and practical advice to help you level up your life. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay on top of all our content. Let's continue this journey of growth and empowerment together. Glowing Star.